Hello students and welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Shefali Nagpal, Associate Professor at Human Resource Development Center, Bhagat Phool Singh Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Sonipat. We are studying the paper Managing Culture and Diversity, and today we will study the module Organizational Culture. On the completion of this module, you would be able to understand the concept of organization culture and corporate culture, understand the iceberg analogy of organization culture, understand the overt and covert components of organization culture and types of culture. Creating a concept for cultural change. Organizations worldwide are facing the enormous degree of change due to changing environment, competition, technology, new perceptions, changing attitudes, people, and plethora of many other reasons. To combat with this massive change in the overall society, organizations too have to change so as not to become obsolete. Thus, an effective organizational climate and a realistic vision of the future are both essential for organizational success. Cultural change does not just happen in an organization. It is usually the result of the complex change strategy implemented by the management and its leader. It is often being concluded that culture is a key to organization success, as a research shows that the companies with the outstanding financial performance often have powerful corporate cultures. Thus, organizations today are striving for a constant change as well as are in a process of constant renewal. As said by the Robert Waterman, an author and consultant, somehow there are organizations that effectively manage change, continuously adapt their bureaucracies, strategies, systems, products and culture to survive the shocks and prospers for the forces that decimate their competition. They are the masters of renewal. This directly calls in for the cultural change at the workplace, leading towards a new organization culture. Definitions of organizational culture. Organizational culture is defined as the way in which members of an organization relate to each other, their work, and the outside world in comparison to other organizations. It can enable or hinder an organization's strategy. Another, in the terms of Stephen Robbins, he defines organizational culture as relatively uniform perception held by the organization. It has common characteristics, it is descriptive, it can distinguish one organization from another, it integrates individuals, groups and organization system variables. Understanding organizational culture. Each organization has its unique cultural or unique organization culture. Just as the people have their own individual personalities and each individual is unique. Industry-wide as well as cultures vary from each other to a great extent. For example, the organizational culture of McDonald's, a customer-centric culture, ought to be quite different from the culture of the India's biggest private bank, which needs to be very conservative in terms of its rules and regulations. It changes the behavior of the people over the time. Now let us understand the organizational culture. It is a system of shared values, assumptions and beliefs which governs how people behave in organizations. These shared values have a strong influence on the people in the organization and dictate how they dress, act, perform their duties, exhibit their behavior and display their attitude. Culture guides the behavior of its people in the organization. A conducive work culture will enable its member to take correct decisions, enable risk-taking abilities among the members, encourage taking calculated risk, developing problem-solving skills among its member and develop teamwork among its member. Organization culture and corporate culture are used synonymously and interchangeably. However, there is a line of difference between the two. Both refers to the collective values and an approach within an organization as well as the way it interacts with the society at large. However, the term corporate culture focuses mainly on for-profit corporations, while organization culture extends to all forms of organization, including non-profit organization, small business, privately held companies, government organization, as well as public sector units. Thus, in a nutshell, organization culture is used in a broader connotation encompassing all type of organization, irrespective of for-profit or not-profit organizations as well. Characteristics of organizational culture. Organizational culture is composed of 7 characteristics that range in priority from high to low. Every organization has a distinct value of each of these characteristics, which when combined defines the particular organization unique culture. Member of the organization assign value or makes judgment based on the value of their organization places on the main characteristics. They over time adjust their behavior to match these perceived set of values and behave. Characteristics of organization culture, which include risk orientation and innovation, collaboration orientation and teamwork, precision orientation and attention to detailing. Others are fairness orientation and emphasis on the people, achievement orientation and emphasis on outcome, competition orientation and aggressiveness, rule orientation and stability. Organizational culture and environment. Organization culture and environment or society are interrelated and work is in sync. We know that business is an integral part of society and it influences other elements of the social system. This in turn affects the business. The entire sphere of the business activities are thus influenced by the social structure and the culture of the society. The social system in turn is influenced by the way the business operates and functions as well as new innovations takes place. Business activities have greatly influenced values, tradition, perception, social attitudes, outlooks and traits. Business work in a social system and what is a functional is a socio-technical system. Socio-cultural environment refers to the influence exercised by the certain social factors which are functional beyond the boundaries of the organization. Some examples are family, need for work-life balance, education, religion, social responsibility, ethics, etc. How organization culture and environment is linked, it is shown through this diagram. There are the factors which are very much interrelated, like the organizational culture is influenced by the leadership development, team dynamics, strategic planning, which is influenced by the environment like cultivating awareness, facilitating change, growing results. The organization has to align the people and the goals so that it may grow and sustain and achieve the desired results. The levels of the corporate culture. It shows the observable symbols which are ceremonies, stories, slogan, behavior, dress, physical setting, and the invisible aspects like underlying values, assumptions, belief, attitude, learning. Organizational culture for different types of organization. Industries and corporate display varied cultural mixes and usually different ways to meet the strategies that work for them and are peculiar to their industry. For example, companies in the industries like IT, ITEs, BPOs, advertising agencies, creative marketing often display an organization culture which is quite open, display freedom, flexibility and creativity. This is because these industries work in quite turbulent environment from top talent and rely on the employees' creativity and motivation to bring in the excellence. Meanwhile, the banking industry tend towards to be more serious and structured cultures as they are like the custodian and advocates of the people's money. Financial institutions must keep strict controls and follow the detailed protocols to comply with the regulations, work in their customers' interest, safeguard the financial assets, hence maintain a quite structured culture. Small and medium enterprises or large enterprises, SMEs, form the major backbone of any economy, whether it be a developed or developing economy. Research shows that in most of the SMEs, culture caters around the entrepreneur and the founder directors of the organization. The cultures created by them percolate and is usually carried forward to the next generation. Non-profit organizations. Objectives and interests of non-profit organizations like NGOs are quite different from the profit counterparts. A cultural personal dedication and passion based on belief may drive a non-profit organization. The non-profit employees may be striving towards deadlines or lead generations, but rather faces less pressure and enjoy the fact that their work serves a social and charitable cause. Government agencies. Government agency culture vary widely from highly bureaucratic to very forceful as many law enforcement agencies are. The government's main objective being welfare of the society. Its value emphasis on efficiency, productivity and financial performance may be less as compared to the welfare and social well-being. Types of culture. There can be different types of cultures varying from charismatic to self-sufficient culture, paranoid to trusting culture, avoidant to achievement culture, politicized to focus culture, bureaucratic versus creative culture. Key factors to improve organizational culture. Create a vision for the future teamwork and collaboration, reward mechanism, open communication, develop a model. Create vision for the future. A shared vision involving all across the levels in striving towards a common goal, vision and mission is imperative for improvement of culture. A shared vision provides focus, commitment of the employees as well as the sense of direction. Teamwork and collaboration. Organizations which value and encourages teamwork by the way of rewards or recognition set the stage towards an improved cultural orientation. Managements need to foster the teamwork and lead by example to improve the culture of the organization. Next is reward mechanism. People respond to rewards, recognition and reinforcement. The organization should find ways and means to embrace the new culture by rewarding the changed culture as well as the people who have helped to embrace change. Ken Robinson has rightly proclaimed, creativity is putting your imagination to work and it's produced the most extraordinary result in the human culture. Open communication. Setting clear direction and open communication is the key to reinforce a strong company culture. Encouraging a participative decision-making process and sharing of information with employees help to build a culture of inclusiveness. Developing a model. It involves initiating the changes or strategies targeted towards a cultural change from a small unit and then make it large by replicating it. In other words, moving from the departmental to the organization wide. Let us now summarize what we have studied in this module. The corporate culture begins at the top and therefore sharing the vision of the company's future with the employees is very important. Treating all employees equally and with respect is an important aspect of good culture, which proclaims equality and equity. Open communication and the two-way communication encourages the feedback and is essential for prevailing the corporate culture in the right direction. The collaborative work and working in teams is the key to managerial excellence, and this should be reflected in culture as well. Freedom should be given in the decision-making process and new ideas should be generated. That is all in this module. Thank you.